for doing this.
No problem at all.
Press my start button. Excellent. So you happy to have a bit of a chat about all things Battle Beast and the brand new album?
Sure. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
That will work.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, we've now got on the line Battle Beasts, and now this is talking about you've got a brand new album, Circus of Doom, out in about a week's time, isn't it?
Yes, 21st, if I'm correct.
And this is the, if I'm looking at the right thing, sixth studio album from you guys. And so first of all, Circus of Doom. Why the title? Because it's got some great artwork associated with it.
Well, I think first of all, when we started on the record, we didn't really plan ahead. Like, we usually work in a way that we first write the songs and then, pick the album title and what have you. So one of the songs, the demo was called Circus. We didn't really know what kind of a circus it was going to be. And then, Janne thought like, that could be a kind of a strong concept for the album, have this circus theme going on. And so, then we bounced around some, ideas for different circuses, and Circus of Doom was a title that in my ears just sounded really catchy and, kind of a, menacing and, brooding, but also a bit silly. And I think that's the kind of a contradiction that works well, in depicting, our music and what we do as a band. So that's really how it came about. And
I love looking at the artwork on the album. I mean, I guess the title tends to lend itself to some quite good artwork. How did the artwork come about? Who did that for you?
It was the guy called Jan Urlund. He's been working with us for these last 3 albums now. So we just gave him the title and some very loose reference pictures. And I don't think he even looked at the reference shots. He just, worked on some sketches, and this was the one we liked the best. So I don't know. We are musicians. He's a graphical artist. So, we'd rather have, the guy who knows his stuff best do the graphic design and not the other way around. So, we can focus on the music. The other guy that knows his stuff can do his.
Does it lend itself though to will we have a circus theme to touring? I mean, it's sort of visually I can see a stage set with the sort of the picture of the album on the back of it.
Well, it would be a kind of a missed opportunity if we didn't, add any, circus themed stuff there. But I don't think we're gonna do like, how should I put it? A musical. It's not gonna be a, circus show. It's gonna be a heavy metal show with, those thematic elements from the circus scene, I think. But right now we are still, because the European tour got postponed. So right now we're still just bouncing ideas on, what's actually possible to do, monetary wise, and how much stuff we can pick in, pack in the trailer and what have you. So it's still kind of a work in process, but it would be a kind of a, missed opportunity, not to kind of include that element there.
And this is the follow-up to No More Hollywood Endings, which came out in 2019. So presumably this album was written in the midst of COVID and lockdown. I mean, what problems did that pose, the whole global pandemic pose, when it came to writing this new album?
Well, I don't think it actually posed that much a problem. I think the biggest problem it did was, like, at least for me personally, when we had such a long break from touring, I actually had a hard time to remember that hey, I'm in a band, because nothing was happening for such a long time. So at times it was kind of hard to orientate, towards writing music and, thinking about this business of rock and roll when you're stuck at home for, a year or so. But really, like, on the other hand, recording wise, for these last few albums, we've always worked in a way that we do a lot of recording during summertime. And well, how, summers are for metal bands. Like, you have 5 days at home, and then for the weekend you fly off to Germany or France or the UK or wherever to do a couple of festival shows, and then you fly back and work on the record. So if I had to, look at some silver linings here, then I would say that, in some sense, it was good that we could just, work on the songs and work on the recording, and, not have to divert our attention to other things, even though we would have loved to, play festivals more, obviously. But, if you want to look at the positive side, then, that's one of the very few good things that the COVID brought us.
So what you're saying is that while you had all the time in the world to do writing, you didn't necessarily have the motivation, having
Yeah,
taken a step aside.
yeah. I mean, I wouldn't even say it was motivation, but just like I said, it was kind of hard to remember. Like, hey, I'm in a band. I do music for a living, because for a while it felt like to me that live music is nobody's thinking about it right now, and everybody has such big problems, and the whole world's been stopped because of this goddamn disease. And I just I've never since we started this band, I've never had such a long time at home at once. So it was a whole new situation for all of us. But obviously once you start writing, it's the kind of a thing that the more you do it, the easier it gets. So once you start doing a bit of it, then the rest comes easier, and that's how it usually is.
And how would you describe it as compared to No More Hollywood Endings? How does it differ from the previous album?
Well, I think I would say it's more compact. It's heavier, I think, definitely. I think I would say overall, I feel it's more confident album, probably the most confident album we have ever done. And recording wise, even though we had all this, this terrible COVID situation, even though it was a lot of work, I would still say that this was the easiest album to work with. Like, I felt the atmosphere in the band was really good, and everybody was really just looking forward to making music and all that. So I don't know. I would say it's more fun, more compact, and more heavy than the last album.
And at the moment, you've had a couple of singles come off it. Where Angels Fear to Fly, I think, is the one I got sent.
Yes.
Very recently. I mean, and what you can't help but feel that when you're writing songs and music, you're inspired by what's going on around you, whether that's in your personal life or in your career. Presumably, there's an awful lot of songs inspired around the consequences of COVID and not getting out there and people we've lost and things like that. Did you find that sort of crept into the lyrical content of the album?
I wouldn't say it did, actually. I mean, maybe I'm just too close to notice it, but I don't, personally, I don't feel like we're a band that really would do. I mean, we do songs with societal themes or whatever, stuff that deals with real life, but we also do like high flying fantasy stuff and whatnot. And personally, I would just feel it would be pretty cheesy to write songs like Virus or whatever, Lockdown. I mean, if you tune in a Ballabist record, you don't want to feel depressed about this shit that's going around you. That's the stuff that you see every day. Like, when people listen to us, they want to feel good and empowered and have fun. So we'd rather focus on that stuff and not do the whole whole other thing. Yeah,
it makes me think. I think I got sent the latest Saxon single last week, and I didn't play it because it just was, as you described, it was all about. It was sort of a heartfelt song about everything that the pandemic but it was just, yes, the word cheesy springs to mind. I can't think of another way of saying it, but it did fall into that, and so much so it was a good song, a nice driving beat to it, but I couldn't play it and then read out the reasons for its being without feeling this is just all a little bit on the back of global pandemic. But anyway, yes, I see what you mean. And you talked about touring plans. I mean, presumably it's so difficult to have touring plans at the moment. I think I spoke to Avatar, I think it was about a month ago, when they were due to come to the UK in January and February, and I noticed this week that's being postponed. What are your touring plans as they stand at this moment?
Well, like I said, we just had to cancel the whole European tour. And well, right now, like every tour promoter and, booking agent, they're all so screwed up because, every band in the world has been, postponing and rescheduling their tours for how long has it been? More than 2 years. And right now, everybody's, trying to set their tours for autumn 22. So, I don't think in the whole Europe there's going to be a club or a, arena that isn't booked for every day of the week for the whole autumn. And so that's really tough for, so it's really, I'd like to have, any more clear and precise plans at this point, but right now we are just hoping that our European booking agent is doing their best, and I know they will. So I don't know. We are still doing hopefully we're still doing a North American tour later this spring, and we all know that the situation there is a bit different. Like they are approaching this pandemic a bit differently, but yeah, we'll just have to see what happens and hope for the best. Like I try not to feel too disappointed if stuff gets canceled or rescheduled again, but I must admit it's kind of hard to keep a positive mind right now.
Because presumably it's with an album coming out at the end of this month, then a tour in March, April, you want to be out promoting this album. Presumably there's a nightmare scenario that you don't get to tour much this year. And then do you go back in, do you go back into a writing phase having not toured an album? Presumably that is a potential scenario if you can't get out and tour it. The cycle still moves on.
That's a very potential scenario. Like as for now, we haven't really done any precise plans about how we're going to spend this extra time, but personally I think I'll just start writing music and hope something's going to turn out of it. But obviously, how the music business is, that nobody makes any money by releasing albums or songs. That you got to go out on tour if you want to make a living, and that's something that hardly anybody can do at this point. So yeah, it won't be easy, but I don't know, like maybe this is the best time to write some new music and try to stay inspired to be creative, do all that sort of stuff, and hopefully at some point we get to tour with the Circus of Doom album, and maybe we'll have a whole new album ready when we're doing the next tour. Like who knows how this whole pandemic, who knows how long it's going to be still. But I don't know, like right now it feels very hard to predict anything and to plan anything, because everything is in constant motion for everybody.
And you say at the moment, I think Where Angels Fear to Fly, I think is the current single of the album. Eye of the Storms, I think, another one that I play quite a lot. And I must admit, I think my daughter, who's 14, commented on how much she liked the clean vocal at the beginning of that, and why there wasn't. And she said, Nura has a really nice voice. Why does she keep on shouting after that? And I sort of agree with her, even though I know I definitely want to hear her vocal on that, because it's a unique vocal and it sort of gives Battle Beast its sound. But it was nice to hear that clean vocal on that track. Do you think there'll be more of that sort of clean vocal, a ballad thrown in there potentially in the future and things like that?
Well, probably. Like we always try to kind of keep things diverse and not just do the same one and two songs over and over again. And we've been getting a lot of positive feedback for Nora singing on Eye of the Storm, obviously, because she's a great singer. And I don't know, I just feel like she's really developing and kind of evolving with every album we make. She always finds new things to do vocally. Sometimes I feel like she's like 100 singers in once. Like she can do anything. But obviously, like I think we are the sort of band who are always, our main thing is always writing a melody. And when you have a beautiful melody, then you don't want to sing it in a rough voice. You want to do it in a kind of a gentle, clean tone. And we are definitely going to have more of those. So I think your daughter is going to be happy with the music we are hopefully making in the future.
Excellent. And so hopefully we will get to see you over here. I mean, I suppose festivals are an option, presumably, if they take place. But the problem is, it's so much what if at the moment, isn't it? But do you have do you have any festival plans for the summer? Fingers crossed over here in the UK.
In the UK, I don't think we actually do, but I'm not quite certain, because it's so funny. Like we've had these festivals booked in 2020 and they've been rescheduled for like first 1 year and now the second. But but I'm afraid we don't have any UK festivals booked at the moment. We should though. We should have like a 10 UK festivals booked, but I think it's pretty hard for European bands to come over there right now. So
yeah. Well, let's
fingers crossed.
Exactly. Let's hope we turn a corner soon and we get to see you back over here with the brand new album, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. I've got a copy of it and it's in the car, playing it a lot at the moment. So I look forward. I will play more of it and look forward to seeing you guys really soon. Super stuff.
Great.
Okay. Would you mind doing us like a quick ident for the radio show?
Absolutely. What was the name of your show again?
So it's Chaz Byrne and Express FM.
Oh, wow, that's tough. I got to read it up. I got it written down here. 1 second, please. Yes, Chaz Byrne. And
yep, the radio station is.
And I do it.
Express
FM.
FM, that's it. Yeah.
So I say like you're listening to Chaz Byrne on Express FM.
Yeah. Just give your name and the band and
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yes. So occasionally people have asked me that and then just not named who they are, which is fine if you.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. I've done this before, like once or twice. Yeah. Hey everybody, it's Eero from Battle Beast, and you are listening to Chaz Byrne on Express FM.
That's wonderful. I did not to name drop, but I once did an interview with Slash in a recording studio up in London, and it literally took 10 minutes for him to do that ident at the end, and I think
was he sober?
Well, he was, but and it was a very good interview. But I think he did in the end what he should have done, and you did was write it down, because I think he kept trying to do
right. Yeah,
from memory.
Yeah, luckily, I got all this.
Yeah,
my publicist says the name of all these shows.
And I think after about the 5th attempt, he wrote it down and then did it. But it was one of these. It was quite quite entertaining. But brilliant stuff. Thank you ever so much for that. That's very kind of you.
Thank you. This was a lot of fun.
Cheers.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.